One way that developers can control what happens in their environment is by adding dot files. And what are dot files, you might ask? Well, most people have taken it to mean a collection of uh, configuration files or scripts that they've put together that alter or maintain their environment in a way that they like and gives them something that they enjoy. So it might be configuring the command line to look how they prefer. There might be colors that they prefer, but it also might be things like setting up aliases for Git or having scripts that are available to do things that you do all the time. And so this is a very simple set of my cloud dot files. They don't do too much. I don't actually need all of the things that I tend to have locally when I do remote work. There's a couple things that I like. So I certainly want to set up a bunch of Git aliases that I use a lot, and that I feel like I'd be lost without. But I also do something that I like quite a bit, which is um, I wrap around seldom used commands that I like, but don't always have to have installed. And so here's an example where I've got a tool called Helix. And so Helix is a code editor. It's very all built in. So it's in the same sort of family as Vim or NeoVim. It's sort of a new entry in the space. One of the things that I like is that built into it is an awful lot of, let's call it, plugins that I would often pull with me. And so where I used to have a massive Vim RC um, that pulled in a bunch of plugins like color schemes and syntax and whatnot. I find that Helix has it all built in, and so if I ever need a quick edit, I can install Helix very easily. But I don't always want to install it. So what I've done is I've written a very simple Bash script that knows how to install Helix, also knows how to uninstall Helix. And I've wrapped the Helix command in a script that checks to see if Helix is installed. And if it isn't, it goes ahead and installs it. Otherwise, it calls the command line Helix. And so what that lets me do is just wrap around that. And then I've got Helix. So let's go see how that would work. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that my dot files are set up in Daytona. So Daytona is the development management system that I'm going to use, development environment management. In settings, you can set up your dot files. So this will mean that these dot files will get injected into every single repo that I've got. Um, and if we go back and look at this real quick, the way that these get installed is that I've got a script called Bootstrap. And that Bootstrap script makes sure that uh, all of these commands or all of these files are installed in the right spot. So where you see symlinks, it's going to go ahead and make sure that those symlinks exist. Um, and and so um, you can use a lot of different options for this. Um, GitHub has pretty good docs where if you have an installed .sh or just an install, a bootstrap sh or a bootstrap script, bootstrap setup sh, any of these commands, most of the environments will look for these, and if they find them, they'll go ahead and run them for you. So in Daytona, I've got this installed. And so let's go ahead and launch a Daytona, and we'll go ahead and see this. So we're actually going to edit the .cloud repo itself. And we'll do that inside of Daytona, and it will set up the dot files to edit the dot files. This will just take just a moment while we load up the environment. So for those of you who aren't familiar with de- developer environments or Daytona. What's happening right now is we're spinning up a Linux environment for me. So we're cloning that repository, which just happened. And what you're going to see now is it's actually going to go grab the dot files and clone those, and then run those. And then, in a handful of seconds, I will have a clean development environment just for me, which is something I can get to work on. And we've got lots of videos about sort of more exciting versions of this, but just to show the dot files one. So there's the dot files getting cloned themselves, and they're getting installed. So now we're going to go ahead and open the IDE. For this particular demo, I've just chosen to use the browser IDE. It works fine for me, but you could also use your local JetBrains or VS Code. And once the IDE starts, we can go look at that Helix command. So I'm going to go over here, get a new terminal. My script was done in Bash, so I'm going to switch to Zeesh real quick, just to show that I don't have anything up my sleeve. So I'm in a Zeesh shell, and if I go to try to run Helix, it's going to say it wasn't found. And so I'm going to exit out of this. And now when I try to run Helix, what's going to happen is it's going to say, oh, Helix is not installed. We're installing it. And that is that wrapper script that I built. And now I will have on the fly, I'll have Helix installed. So, this is really useful when you don't want to, um, install something into the base container or into a feature, but you do want to have it around because sometimes you use it. And so now we are inside of Helix. We've got sort of everything that we would need. So if I wanted to use this, oftentimes I use it for commit editing. I set up my editor for Helix. And I like it because everything is pre-installed. I don't have to worry about it. But it's really useful sometimes for other tools that you might need infrequently, like JQ or other things. But also now I've got my entire environment up and running. And if we go look at the home directory, you can see the links that have been made to the dot files. So super easy way to get your dot files installed on every single run, customize your environment for how you like it. If you have any questions, just let us know. Thanks.